Yo, this is Big Daddy Kane, and right about now you about to hear some new heat from Kareem Dion, and this one is called One Day.
I know it's they gon' throw shade in your face. They gon' always try to discriminate, but understand it's coming from the devil. We ain't moving on that. Spread love and never settle, and I promise you gon' be okay.
Shut up. Gang don't wait ever. Rockin' Dior to the floor, Mason Margiela. On my feet, just bounced up the rocket shit. Cute face, slim waist, hella ass and hips. I'm just speakers, I got lips, you gotta translate. And everything I coin, but my quotes was something great. Nothing fake, don't mistake me for a boy in there. I love the kids, I'ma give all of the toys to them. Running, rolling hundreds with my something round. Walnut, up here, I ain't coming down. Hit the ground, rubber roll, stomp and burn it up. I hit the function, let's get to turning up. It's a rap one to keep being platinum. Get off the pack on the track and don't act dumb. It's a rap one to keep being platinum. Get off the pack on the track and don't act dumb.
They gon' throw shade in your face. They gon' always try to discriminate, but understand it's coming from the devil. We ain't moving on that level. Spread love and never settle, and I promise you gon' be okay.
No one's born with hate. You have to plant that seed, water the crop, teach that hate. No self-belief, fill oneself with hate. We know who raised their children that way. Actually have some bum-ass niggas out here acting like they was raised that way, putting their hands on elders of any race. What would your mother say or her mother say? The devil will not win. We don't move that way. Bruise after bruise, loss after loss. Every day face discrimination, still be okay. Together we beat that hate, move in faith. The devil bitch no play if you never press play. Speaking on the word change, solidarity number one. Our struggle, common struggle against hate. One day equal between all people. See a face, see just that face, don't see race. When I was a little boy in school learning about Dr. King, I Have a Dream speech was a very big theme.
I know it's oh God, they gon' throw shade in your face. They gon' always try to discriminate, but understand it's coming from the devil. We ain't moving on that line, love and never settle, and I promise you gon' be okay.
Well, all right. Once again, putting it down for you and yours. This is another episode of The Lion's Den. The segment title, The Conversation Continues, talking about what's on your mind. And you were listening to the insightful original sounds of Kareem Dion. We hope that you like the opening, very powerful, insightful song. And this is the kind of rap we want to get back to, consciousness rap. That rap, which means a talk that will resonate and stimulate you intellectually and emotionally and spiritually. All right. So now, again, you're tuned into the Lion's Den. And as always, we give honor to the Lord in Christ, from whom all positive thoughts flow. And understand, the Lion's Den. We're your hosts. You have the seventh answer, Lady Karima, Black Beauty Inc., a.k.a. the Dark Delight, because in the beginning was darkness, and out of darkness comes the light of all lights, the Lion's Den, giving illumination on all issues that need revelation. And I am also one of your hosts, Dark Storm. And we're here to put it down for you and yours. But understand this here, that when you tune to the Lion's Den, from city to city and state to state, without no follow-up bleep, bloops, or blunders, with Lady Karima at the helm of this well-oiled machine, you're going to experience all types of miracles and wonders. And whether you like it or not, believe it or not, or you want to deal, like the late Queen Mother Aretha Franklin and King brother Curtis Mayfield, the Lion's Den is going to give you what you can feel. And that is a powerful, subtle, and direct truthality, listening experience and experiment. Make no mistakes. All right? And of course, This machine is held up by the 4 pillars biblically that make it run. And that is, Isaiah the 41st chapter. We're going to always be ready, willing, and able to produce our cause and bring forth all strong evidence on any subject matters that we discuss here. All right, whether it be a specific monologue of discussion or these open discussion forums that we've been conducting these last number of weeks. All right. But bottom line is, we come ready to produce our cause and bring forth a strong evidence. Therefore, following 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, verse 21, which tells us, be ready, willing, and able to prove all things and hold fast that which is good. And we bring always proof with the frequently accurate, correct truths we bring. The facts, y'all. Nothing but the facts. And of course, here in the Lion's Den, all right, we are strong advocates of freedom of speech, but responsible speech. We believe that you must think before you speak. Give careful consideration of what you say before you say it, because if you say the wrong thing at the wrong time to the wrong soul, it can get you hurt. Therefore, the biblical proverb of Proverbs 13th chapter at verse 3, the good Lord instructs us all. He or that she that keepeth their mouth, keepeth their life. Meaning this here, if you think before you speak, and you're not reckless with your mouth, you'll live a long time on approximation of. But if you get out here and speak recklessly, you're going to find yourself hurt. See, freedom of speech does not mean you have the right to say whatever you want to say. That is not what it means. To speak freely means you have the right, when you see things that are wrong and out of pocket and out of joint, to voice your opinion on it and be a champion of justice. Like here it is, the Lion's Den. This segment titled The Conversation Continues. We come here and we prove to be voices of justice and what's right. In this jungle where you have a media that deliberately lies to people. And therefore, we follow the directive of Joshua, the 1st chapter at verse 6 and 7, which tells us we must be strong and of good courage. See, it takes a lot of heart to come here and do what we do. All right? It takes a lot of heart to come out here and put yourself, on a social media network where people are going to disagree with you for the sake of disagreeing with you or whatever have you. But we do it anyway. Or you must be strong and of good courage. We may take on topics that, as you've seen in a couple of episodes, I wasn't ready for, but be that as it may, if I'm not ready, the good Lord always has somebody out there who is. You know what I'm saying? But that's what makes this machine run. And of course, the 8 eyes. We bring ingenuity, independence, integrity, inspiration, influence, independence, insight, and verifiable, irrefutable information. Like I said, the facts. That's frequently accurate, correct truths. Okay? And when you roll with the lion and the lionesses, you're rolling with the pride. That's righteous pride. Because we're always permanently ready and destroying evil. Starting with our own. See, the 7th answer, myself, JJ Mandinka Malley, when he comes through, we don't walk on any self-righteous plane. We know that we're in the flesh, and the flesh is a hell of a drug. But still, we're diamonds. We're diamonds. And all diamonds, when you chip away the flaw, you get perfection and an approximation of. So we rise to our godlike, masculine, and Karima and her feminine energy to bring this magnificent social media, truthality, listening experience and experiment to you, the Lion's Den. But make no mistakes, we're also part of the many factions of the anti-coon movement. And what's a coon? C-O-O-N, a complete, obvious, obedient, yes, a boss nigga. We don't do that here. Ain't no Stephen from Django. Ain't no buck dancing, no big black buck, no bedwenching, no yes, a bossing. We don't do that here. Why? Because we can't be bought, and more importantly, we're not going to be sold. So understands that. And we also are hitting you with what? Virgo energy. That's right. We're practical, tactical, political, critical, analytical, but we strive never to be hypocritical. Virgo energy. Catch it. Feel it. It's a good thing. And also, this is the home of point, counterpoint. Sometimes in the 100% spectrum, you'll find that the seventh answer, myself, the 95% of the time we agree. It might be that 5% we may have to might tussle a little bit. We may have to go head up a little bit, but it's done in love. You know why? Because that's how you reach perfection still too. Because you know what? At the start and end of every day, it's okay to respect other people's opinions as long as they're relevant and intelligent. Let me clarify what kind of opinions we respect here. Verifiable opinions, okay? Verifiable information, not dumb, blanket, recalcitrant statements just to be made. I want to make sure we clarify what opinions are respected here in the Lion's Den. And oh yeah, to our haters. Yeah, we know you out there. We welcome you too. We welcome you, haters. We love when you come through as well. Because how you feel about us is how we feel about you. Make no mistakes, haters. We didn't like you yesterday. We don't like you now. But you're welcome because you inspire us to be on our job. You really do. And for those of you out there who have this severe allergic reaction to truthality that we bring here, the seventh answer and myself, we always extend to you our deepest sympathies and empathies. You know why? Because we're not going to compromise it for no one. See, we understand that we've inherited a world where, here it is, people who are liars and living lies have the audacity to want to cancel and seek out and shut down shows like the Lion's Den because we tell the truth and we reveal their lies. We live in a world where we've inherited people who are dumb, have the audacity to be offended by the intelligence that we articulate here on the Lion's Den. Can you believe that? Well, again, if you fit that category, you have our deepest sympathies and empathies, because we're not going to compromise for no one, ever. So you can scram, skedaddle, beat it, get up out of here. Any verb or adjective that describes the action of you vamoosing, leaving, go ahead, do it now. Because my Negro and my Negress, let me assure you, you will not be missed. And last but certainly not least, when you come to the Lion's Den, please understand that we hunt, we pray, and we discombobulate all kooks and crazies who dare to come up in here with foolishness. See, Karima, she rolls like Conan the Barbarian, except he rolled with the riddle of steel. She rolls with the communication of steel. And that's this here. What's the communication of steel? Oh, we will crush, destroy, and all out mollywop all kooks, crazies, and nut jobs who dare to come up in here, as Mike Tyson say, with their primitive social media skills. You're just as good as dead. So be warned. And the house rules set forth by another one of our beautiful lionesses, I Am Manna. When you come into the Lions Den, please wipe your feet, mind your manners, conduct yourself in an orderly manner, and enjoy yourself. Because if you get out of line, out of pocket, you already know, and you've already heard, look at that last episode, the lioness, Lady Karima, will come down with the quickness, work you out like physical fitness, hit you with so many get up out of here's. So fast, so quick, not even a Muhammad Ali nor Jehovah will witness. That's real talk. And once that happens, I got to get out the way and say nothing. And so now with all these formalities out the way, the Lions Den is now in full effect. The conversation continues. Open discussions. The Great Commission, you all. And indeed, we're dealing with a Great Commission. What is a commission? It has many definitions. When you open your definitionary, I know some people say dictionary, but the primary use of the dictionary is looking for definition. So I say definitionary. When you open your definitionary, commission, in context, depending on whether it be business or on a legalese standpoint, a commission is a conglomerate of people or peoples who are designated to bring forth law, bring forth order, bring forth discussions on things that need to be taken care of with the immediacy. So when you come into the Lions, then you are indeed about to experience the Great Commission on this open discussion panel. Because we're going to bring heat. We're going to talk, and you out there in Lions Den land, if you have some on your mind that's relevant, intelligent, not repetitious though, and we not something we haven't heard already, please come through, vibe, click, and politic with us. But I'm gonna get this party started. We're gonna get the party started because 90s era, if you in the house, right? I want you to come back up here because last time we were talking about Michael Jackson. We're gonna get on Michael Jackson. Before we get on Michael Jackson, there's a couple of things I want to get out the way. Yo, Lions Den land. All you MAGites, because we know that you MAGA people are listening to us too. We know that we have people of other ethnicities that are listening to us and all that. For all you MAGA lovers out there, you MAGites, as JT would say if he was here, Yeshida. All you MAGites, yo, what's up with your president? Donald, or should I say dumb Donald John Trump. What's up with your president? It's clear to me and to others that this man is starting to fade real bad in real time. This president is now talking about how he wants former president of these United States, Barack Hussein Obama, arrested and brought up on treason. Man, just when I thought dumb Donald Trump couldn't get any worse, lo and behold, the good Lord has this fool prove me wrong. Okay. And I know some of you out there in the FBI, CIA, and other intelligentsia agencies, as you come here and you listen on the low, I know you're listening to this spectacular broadcast. You can't help but listen to the Lions Den. Because you know what? You work for a bunch of liars, but you're tired of being lied to too. And here in the Lions Den, we do ask, and I've been negligent on asking this question. Aren't you tired of being lied to? Well, if you are, welcome. So let me get back on the joint. Let me get back on it. But still, for all you FBI, CIA agents out there listening on the low, listen, you really need to corral your man. Okay? How dare he or anyone else in the Trump administration, but especially Donald John Trump, dare talk about calling Barack Obama treasonous? Now listen, I am not for Barack Obama. I make that clear. But what I am not going to do, I'll be damned along with the seventh answer, we be damned if we gonna sit up here and let this country, like they always do, make any black man or woman the face of what's wrong in this country. Treason? Barack Obama? Okay, let's say if that were true. The last person that could be talking about anybody is you, Donald Trump. And not just you. How about the 250 or more mayors, governors, senators who all went, 6 or more months ago to Israel and made a vow to Israel to uphold everything Israel while shirking their duties and their responsibilities to America first, including you, Mr. Orange Man. Remember that? America first? But everything your behind has been doing, including this illegal war with Iran that I thought we won, because you see, you, Pete Hegseth, and all the rest of the Republican funky bunch lied. You lied, because we're still in this war, and we're losing billions a day. And see, this is what you're doing. See, all this distraction. You want to bring Barack Obama up on treason. You, the man with 34 more convictions, if I'm not mistaken, Donald John Trump, you, along with your Pete Hegseth and all the rest of the Republican funky bunch who got us in this war with Iran for the sake of Israel, not for any American interests, but for Israel. And oh yeah, where's Benjamin Netanyahu? But let me just stay on point. You want to call Barack Obama treasonous? When all the cuts to Medicaid, Medicare, and everything else you guys are doing, every social program that's needed by Americans, America first, you are cutting and continue to cut. But Barack Obama, you want to arrest him for treason? Wait, Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, yeah. Oh, you think we forgot? We ain't forgot. If other people may choose to forget, no, here in the Lions, then we're not going to forget that either. Pedo boys and girls. And on that note, see, I see how all of a sudden, over the weekend, and that's why I want 90s era, when you get a chance to come up here and join us, we're going to get back on Michael Jackson. All of a sudden, here we go. Over the weekend, you had the Wall Street Journal make this real nasty write-up about Michael Jackson. You want to bring him back up on being a pedophile. Man, anyway, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But it's always a pattern with these people. You want to bring up a black face to cover all the white faces who are out here pedophiles of Jeffrey Epstein, including you, DJT, including you. So it is the unintimated gall to have to sit up here and have this man talking about he wants to have Barack Obama arrested for treason. Listen to the FBI and CIA agents that are listening to this broadcast and anyone else out there. Listen, you really need to corral your man. See, the thing is, DJT, you being up at 12, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on TikTok or whatever have you, it's draining you of your life force and whatever good sense you had left. See, you need to go to bed early. Now, you were just a few months back snapping on Joe Biden and his clearly declining cognitive sense and sensibilities. But yet, in this short time, with all the foolishness that you and your Republican funky bunch have been doing for the sake of Israel, not for the sake of America first, and Americans first, you've been losing your mind. See, eating all that McDonald's every day, eating all those Big Macs, okay? and dollar menu junk food that you've been eating, it's definitely not only clogging your arteries, but it's clogging your brain. For you to sit up here and try to call anyone else a treasonous, when everything you are doing, Republicans, is full-fledged, all-out treason, along with the other 250 or more mayors, governors, and senators who all went to Israel just a few short months ago, making pacts, taking that AIPAC money, including you, DJT. What are you talking about? Man, talk about the proverbial pot calling the kettle black. No pun intended. But good God Almighty, man. Unfreaking believable. You want to sit up here and try to call this man, call Barack Hussein Obama treasonous. But again, that's not for you to say, Donald Trump. It's not. You are all up in the Jeffrey Epstein files, you and so many others. But you ain't talking about that, though. You don't want to talk about that. You're going to like Daffy Duck. Dodge, spin, parry. And then your beat gonna flip in your face. Now again, like I said, I'm not for Barack Hussein Obama, not at all. But what I'm not gonna do is let this man become the poster boy of what's wrong here in America. Hell no. No. Even though he's never defended anybody black. He's never, like I said, he has his issues with endorsing any black candidates. What we in the Lions Den, we are, how you say, ambidextrous, and we're able to see things bioptically. What we're not going to do is let this man be used by MAGA and all the white supremacist funky bunch out here trying to make him now the poster boy and try to continue to use as many different distractions from these Epstein files that still need to be open. No. It's time now. It's time. It's past time. Because see, not only you have this Donald J. Trump dude, and you got this dude walking around, this punk cowboy who calls himself Chud the Builder. See, this some of you MAGA white right-wing extremists or supremacists, y'all getting a little too, but not getting, you are way beside yourself. And you walk up the wrong tree, and this Chud the Builder dude, if you don't know who Chud the Builder, his name is spelled CHUD. Chud the Builder. Look him up, please. I didn't really send any videos, anything, to the Seventh Answer. Maybe with her ingenuitive self, she'll pull up some things about this idiot. This dude walking around walking up on black folks, calling them every kind of N-word you can think of. Yeah, look, but he finally got checked. But you know what? I want y'all to pay attention to his name, Chud, CHUD. Now, for some of us who are Gen Xers and we go way back to into the 1970s, into the 80s, how many of y'all remember a series of movies that was titled Chud, which was an acronym for Cannibalistic Human Underground Dwellers? Because I found him choosing that name, Chud the Builder, very interesting. When you look up the movies, go back to into the early 70s into the 80s, when slasher films, from Jason, Friday the 13th, and all that. Well, the first Friday the 13th, it was his mother, Jason's mother, who was doing the killing. But you know what I mean? Halloween, all. Chud. It was cannibalistic human underground dwellers. Well, here you have this white dude walking around looking like a fake black Jack Mulligan, who's been walking up on white black folk in the name of freedom of speech, calling them every kind of nigger and all this other foolishness, and then trying to say when they respond to him, they're chipping out. Well, he just got himself a little, how you say, rude awakening. When he rolled up on some black folks, some brothers in particular, who wasn't in the mood for that bull shenanigans. And he got checked hard. Listen, this goes out for all you supremacists out there. No matter what your occupation, look, we here on the Lions Den, we've been telling you for a minute, a spirit is on a lot of black folk now. We're not taking no more police brutality, no more shooting us down, and we're going to have these lame black leaders talking about nothing, singing no justice, no peace. No, the time is now. A spirit is on us. And you've been seeing in the news. See, Rodney Hinton, I got no problem with Rodney Hinton. If it were up to me and I could find a way to support him from a Cash App standpoint, I would do that. There's going to be a whole lot more Rodney Hintons because you're going to mess around and find out, man. Stop while you're not ahead. Now, some of you, okay, you listening. Oh, he threatened. No, I'm not making no threats. I'm telling you, the seventh answer, we're telling you that the time is coming and you're already seeing it. There's a new day and a new set of black folks that are arising in this country who ain't gonna take no more of this schnoodle. See, I'm in tune with my inner Steve Urkel and Carlton Banks, and if I must use colorful language, it will be done so in a more articulate way. They're not taking that no more. They're tired of it. And it's going to be more Rodney Hintons. So stop. Chud the Builder just got a rude awakening. And just like the little hooker he is, he went full Karen calling the police. Y'all, here it is, some of you little white racists you love, talking about when black folks lose their cool and come at you, they're chimping out. Well, how about this? How about this? Maybe you're not gonna like what I'm saying. But how about if you stop with your knuckle dragging, cave dwelling ass bullshit? Excuse my llama, I'm gonna let loose for a hot second. Excuse me. If you stop with the caving out, maybe you wouldn't have to worry about chimping out. But then again, that kills me too. Because how is it that you're going to talk about black folks are chimping out, white racist, when you adhere to, Charles Darwin, the evolutionist who said that all men stem from apes. Just making a thought. Now, I lost my cool, but this Chud the Builder dude been getting on my last nerve. And I'm glad the Lord put a spirit on some brothers, I think it was in Mississippi or Tennessee, that checked him hard. And now you got a black woman that just came out talking about how she used to be punching him up his butt. I don't mean to be colorful. Maybe some of y'all may, depending on the time zones you're listening, you may have children listening, excuse me. And I promise you I won't cuss anymore. Sometimes my human side gets the better of me. Okay? I'll tame myself. But listen, this always trying to make black folks the poster boy or poster girl of an issue, it's got to stop. And it's going to stop. See, we understand why there are certain forces out here that block the algorithm here on the Lions Den. We understand why the FCC and other zones monitor what we say here. We get it. All the liars and all the propagandists can't take the truth. In order for their lies to work, they got to shut down all opposing voices. But you can't shut down the lions. Then you can't shut down no voice but a lion, especially the lions. Then you can't shut us down. Because I assure you, you do that, I guarantee the Lord gonna work it out where every medium is going to, from here on out, be cursed. And that's real talk. I'm not gonna make it pretty. No sweet talking. But enough is past enough. So again, we're now rocking out with the Great Commission. You understand me? And we're making it abundantly clear on this open discussion and forum. Yo, we'll talk to anybody at any given time. Some of y'all might not like what we're saying, and you may not agree. We'll welcome you. You want to go point, counterpoint? You're more than welcome. Just come relevant, intelligent, and make sure you know what you're talking about. Don't make the attempt to try to overtalk us on our own forum. If we start asking you questions, and everything will be smooth and copacetic. We assure you that we are hospitable and proper hosts, and we won't be rude. But we will not have anybody come in here as our guest on the forum being rude and disrespectful either. I want to make sure you understand that. And I see, oh, okay, Grafted In podcast. Okay, I see you in the house. Yes, sir, I see you here. Salaya Ben Yah, I see you here. And for all y'all that's coming up, Water Blue, Ezekiel, Shalom to you as well. For all y'all coming up in here, please understand, this is an open forum, open discussion. And if the subject matters that we're talking about right now are not what you want to talk about, but you have something that's relevant and intelligent, you want to kick it about, let's do that. We love these open forum and discussions, okay? But getting back on what I was saying. But here we have a president who's clearly out of his mind. And he has people out there who are his followers, his Megites, who are out of their mind. Walking around, starting things with black folks, and then getting themselves hurt. As a matter of fact, we have comedian Godfrey, who's been doing a series titled "Leave Black People Alone." And these videos he shows, oh my God, are showing a lot of white folk who still think they own us, who still think they're in 1920s or whatever dispensation of time where in America, black folk, yes, boss, I was a good nigga, boss. Yes, ma'am. You think you still in that era? And you can walk up on us and just say or do whatever you want to say, and they are finding out. No. And in law enforcement, some of y'all who've been hiding behind the color of law, gunning down unarmed black men, women, and children, we've been trying to appeal to you, and your laws and your lawmakers continue to let you go. Yo, Rodney, it's a whole lot more Rodney Hantons out here. And this is not a threat. This is an absolute promise that you're hearing here on the Lion's Den. You gonna go stoking and poking the lions that are out here, the bears that are out here, the tigers. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take a page out the late great beautiful brother Ozzie Davis, who said, you got racist white America. They're in a house. You got a lion at the front door, a tiger at your back door. You got panthers on your roof and leopards coming up and cheetahs coming up through your floor. And they're all going to get in. One of them, if they don't all get in at the same time, one of them is going to get in. And they come in to hunt. And they're not playing. Well, we're living in that time. Here on the Lions Den, we've been saying for a long time, you've been hearing us say it constantly on every episode. Leave people alone. Now, we don't say leave black folks, just black folks. Leave people alone. Okay? In these last 30 years, I'm going to use 30 years, these last 30 years, it has become quite evident that people are on edge. They're losing everything. They've lost everything. And the last thing they need is for some Joe or Josephine idiot, no disrespect to anybody named Joe or Josephine, but Joe or Josephine idiot pressing them, taunting them, picking on them, because now people are snapping, losing their cool, and straight going buck wild, putting the beats of down on any and everybody. People are not playing. Leave people alone. And as you can see, I'm a little amped up, and I'm trying to keep cool, calm, and collected and everything. I don't want to lose my cool and be too heavy tongue, spicy language, but there's certain things that do got. But this Donald Trump and this whole issue with Barack Obama, and accusing him of treason, and he wants to arrest him. It has me worked up. It has me worked up big time, because like I said, how dare he? Here we are steeped in a war that, again, they just a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about it here on one of the episodes of the Lions Den in the open commission, in the open discussion, how here it is, right? Your man, Donald J. Trump, Pete Hegseth, were just saying, oh, we have won, we've vanquished Iran, they have no military, they have no navy, they have no, and yet the ceasefire is up, and here we are, knee deep, all up in this war still. That means they lied. They lied. But Barack Obama, he the traitor? He should be brought up on charges of treason? When this war popped off, it was popped off for the interest of Israel, not America. There was no need for us to end this war. But since we've ended this war, and here it is, Israel got its hands all in America's pockets, in the coffers of America. Every social program from EBT, from you name Medicaid, Medicare has been cut, more cuts, and every other kind of cut in the goalpost to try to find reason to cheat many needy Americans up. But I don't care what your ethnicity is, you're being cheated. We're being cheated, and all that money from welfare on is being funneled to Israel. Are you mad? Or you don't like what I'm saying? But it's the truth. And it's not about me being anti-Semitic. Because see, first off, I can't be right along with the seventh answer. We can't be anti-Shem. It's not Sim. We can't be anti-Shemitic because we're Shemitic. No, but what we are is anti-lies and skullduggery that the American media continues to pocket. So we're going to talk about the fact that here it is, all this money being spent on this war, and more cuts are coming. Now you got the Social Security benefits being raided, your IRAs. Yeah, man. Yeah. All this is going on. Okay? And 90s era. My brother, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Because now we're going to go, you know something? You brought this up. And so, you know, tonight's episode we're going to dedicate to you. We're going to dedicate this to you. Because you know what? You brought up Michael Jackson now. Here it is, coincidentally, over the weekend, you had the Wall Street Journal. Okay? They wrote a very brutal and scathing article by this Maureen Orr, her name is. And coincidentally, here it is. She started talking about how much of a pedophile Michael Jackson is, that a lot of people are so swept up and fooled by Michael's public image that they are missing the fact that he's a pedophile and all that. Now, I thought about you because here it is. You had talked about the biopic Michael and all that, right? Which is generated now, as it stands, $600 million and climbing. Now, the reason I want you to come back, you know, like I said, I'm not going to go watch the film and all that. But again, give me your take for those who are watching. This might be a spoiler alert. Give me your take on the biopic again and what you saw.
Yeah, Sir. Thanks for the invite again to the Lions Den. I got caught up in traffic, but finally here, trying to take my shoes off at the door, as you say. Trying to respect the Lions Den house. But when it comes to the Michael Jackson movie, I thought it was a dope movie. I give it about like an 8 out of 10. And it covered a lot of things. It opened my eyes to a lot of things in the background that I wasn't aware of. And being that you bring this to my attention about this lady trying to, because of all the success of the movie, of course she wanted to bring up about the pedophile stuff, which I touched on last time that I was on here. So, I'm glad that you bring it to my attention because this was the thought that I had last week. So when it comes to the movie, and the pedophile allegations, like I was saying last week, Michael Jackson was like a real special kid coming up, right? So I stated to say that his brothers and sisters was like different than him mentally. So Michael, from what I saw in the movie, he always had a connection with kids when he was a kid. So as he was getting older, he wasn't able to really play with any kids or have girlfriends because he only focused on dancing, singing, and that was it. And and his mom like babied him a lot, especially when it came down to being disciplined by Joe Jackson. So as he getting older, let's fast forward to his like teenage years. It shows about the teenage years where like kids start getting girlfriends and everything. So Michael never got a girlfriend, at least they never showed, but his brothers was having girlfriends and all that. So so this one scene, Michael Jackson was trying to play Twister with his brothers, and they was like like young adults, and they were like, nah, Michael, you know what I'm saying, like we don't play games no more. I'm about to go off to this hot date I got and all that. So it's basically leaving Michael Jackson alone, where all he wanted to do was just have fun and continue being a kid. So he all alone. Now his best friends are animals and pets and giraffes and monkeys, all these exotic animals. He called them his best friends, his family. And then you got the little kids that will come up to him when he at the stores. He be signing their autographs. He'll have extended conversations with the little kids, is what they showed in the biopic. So and then I want to jump to the part where he did that Pepsi commercial where he had burned his hair. and he was in the hospital. He ended up going to a hospital where it's a whole bunch of burn patients on there, and that's when he really connected with the kids that was like going through cancer and burn you know what I'm saying, like on the same thing he was going through. But
Okay. But let me
yeah,
ask you a question, brother. All right. Now, see, now this is why I wasn't in agreement with the fact that Jermaine Jackson and company they hired Antoine Fuqua. I'm not against Mr. Fuqua and his works as far as Training Day, you know, the training day. Some of his productions as far as Belly, going back to Belly. You're talking about his also his work on some Denzel Washington's the Equalizer movies. But Antoine Fuqua, right? He's much more of a music video type of person, or topical and all that. See, everything you laid out. I want to ask you:
hmm
did this movie deal with when he took 40 million of his money and bought ATV? Did they deal with the fact that when he bought ATV, he bought 40,000 copyrighted acts, not just the Beatles, not just Elvis's catalog? Did they deal with that?
oh nah. I don't even know
Okay,
nothing about that.
hold on. See, did they cover when you had certain mafia figures when Michael bought ATV, they had a problem with that and stepped to Michael with aggression. Did they deal with that?
No, sir.
No. Okay, how about did they cover when in 1993? All right, 1993, when the sexual and child molestation allegations began, did they cover when Michael went to Israel and then came back and stood up against the Zionists and the whole Israel campaign that was going on at the time? And matter of fact, he wrote a song that was titled "Don't Cry Palestine." Did they cover that?
No, sir.
See, that's why I didn't want. I'm looking at Jermaine sideways, and I can understand why Janet Jackson and a few other people didn't want to be involved with the project. Look, man, this is what I got a problem with. Because see, this Wall Street Journal article that was written over the weekend, right? Talking about Michael being, no matter of fact, okay, if they didn't cover that, did they deal with some of the accusers of Michael Jackson, like Wade Robinson, who came back years later and admitted he lied? Did they cover that?
No, sir. They didn't get to any of that. Like the only like nah, nah, but you know what they did do for Michael? So like I was saying, so like he was staying at that hospital where he was trying to recover from getting all them burns. And they had a scene where he told his manager to like donate his whole tour check to the hospital. That's like the only like major donation that they showed of Michael Jackson doing.
See, but brother,
It was like
my
six
point,
figures, something like that.
but see, my point is, 90s era. My point and my problem with the movie and what I'm hearing right now from what you're telling me, the things that really counted, that really put Michael's life and the Jackson family in jeopardy, in danger at the time, they didn't cover. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I got a problem with. See, if you going I believe that if you do something, you got to do it right. Let me give y'all out there what the movie should have been covering.
Yeah,
They
so
should have
break
been,
it down for me because that's new to me right there about the mob and
sure.
all that.
Let's go into it. Let's get into it. Way back in 1987, no, 86 into 87, what they don't talk about, and we always hear about Michael Jackson bought the Beatles and Elvis's catalog, and that's when his troubles began. That's not true. It goes back in 1986 and 87 when Michael bought a British company called ATV. He bought the rights to 40,000 acts. We're talking about Billy Idol. We're talking about whoever was whoever at the time in the 80s into the 90s. Okay, Michael paid $40 million of his own money. But what they didn't know, what ATV did not know, along with Epic Records, which was one of Michael's managing companies, they didn't know that it was Michael who was doing the bidding. At the time, Michael kept it. It was a deal that was negotiated for about a year. Come to find out, Michael took $40 million of his own money. He didn't have no other investors. Michael took $40 million of his own money and sealed this deal, 40,000 acts, making it possible for Little Richard, the Platters, and a host of other black acts, Jackie Wilson, and so many others who got jerked around and ripped off, people that he grew up watching. He made it possible for them to be able to eat from their royalties that ATV had been, which was a British company, and many British companies had nothing but utter contempt for black folk. But Michael pulled a smooth, if you want to call it a smooth criminal, a spook who sat by the door deal, paid $40 million, and he owns 40,000 acts. 40,000.
Yeah. They were supposed to put that in the movie right there. You're right about that.
Right. And not just that. Now, when he did that, however, you had Tommy Mottola, and a whole bunch of Jimmy Iovine. You had a whole host of people who are indeed, how you say, connected, mob connected. And this goes back to even when, the Victory Tour at the time, when he and his brothers, Joe Jackson, all that, they had to have Don King come in and negotiate certain venues and all that, because there were certain mob figures that was on Michael and Janet and all. They were on the whole family's head. See, matter of fact, did they cover when LaToya Jackson married this kid named Jack? What was it, Jack? Jack, what's Jack's last name? Oh, I'm getting a brain freeze. Anyway, did they cover that?
No, they didn't. But they did cover. They did cover the Victory Tour about Don King and all that, but they didn't go deep into it. Yeah.
They didn't tell you why. Okay, see, that's my point. See, this is why I have a problem with Antoine Fuqua and Jermaine Jackson in particular. This is why I see why Janet and everybody was like, yo, bro, if you're going to do this, do it right. So, okay, then from 1986 into 1993, a lot of people was on Michael's head. Now, 1993 is when Michael went to Israel. He went to Israel, saw what was going on over there, come back over here, and he basically said, listen, I'm not here to take sides. I believe in taking care of everybody, and everyone has a right to live. And he wrote a song, Don't Cry Palestine. And when he did that, that's when the accusations of child molestation started, because he went against the Zionist pact of the time. Then, going into 1995 and 1997, here's where Michael went wrong. Okay, he had Johnny Cochran. He had hired Johnny Cochran to negotiate a deal with Epic Records. It was a huge deal, huge. But the reason I say Michael made a critical error in doing it is because Epic has ties to Universal, Warner Brothers. All these dudes have, and they all have ties to where? Israel. Okay? And they also have ties to
Oh, okay. I got you.
now,
So, all right.
hold on. And not just that. So, but when Michael made this deal, right, with Epic, yeah, true. He had billions of dollars because not only did he make the deal with Epic, he had Sony. He had just, how you say, gut punched Sony Records. But when he got with Johnny Cochran and they got with Al Sharpton, oh boy. Anyway, and he started revealing Tommy Mottola and all these and all other white executives as being crooks, devils, and remember that? See, there was a reason why Michael made that. I'm gonna say he made a critical error because, in my opinion, when he hooked up with Al Sharpton of all people, you know, let's just say that wasn't exactly a good deal. It really wasn't. Because now here it is. Now I'm not making no accusations. I'm not saying anything, but I gotta say this here. This is one man's opinion. Notice how Johnny Cochran died, Michael Jackson died, but Al Sharpton, he alive. I'm just saying. Because now here it is, Johnny Cochran in that deal with Sony. And Michael's still trusting certain souls. There was a reversion clause in that deal with Sony. That if anything were to happen to Michael, reversion means to do a reversion means what? It means that all rights to Michael's ownership of Sony would what? Go back to them.
Right.
So you see where I'm going with this? You see how everything is connected? You see how Michael would be better off for some people in that time frame. Michael would have been what? Better off dead for them? See, this is when so when Michael went against the Zionists, when he went against Israel, did not support them in the whole issue of their cause, coupled with the fact he had 40,000 acts giving black artists money back. All right, and even some white artists who got ripped off. Michael gave them money, hooked them up, made deals where they got a better deal.
Yeah,
but
Salakia, real quick.
Go ahead.
So you saying he went to Israel, come to America, and made a song about Palestine?
Yeah, Don't Cry Palestine.
So he didn't even go to Palestine. He was in Israel, but somehow made a song about Palestine.
Right, because you know why? Here's what happened. Let me just make clear. I gotta be careful. I gotta clarify. He took a tour into regions where Palestinians were hospitalized. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Michael do got a soft spot for like
children.
like injuries and children. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So now, do you remember the big stink they made when he made the song? They don't care about us. When he said you can do me, Jew me, try to even screw me, and then they made him take.
I remember that. Yeah.
Anti-Semitic, it's gonna go. Yeah. See, that was what that was about. They were mad at him.
It don't matter if you black or white. That song too.
Right. So what Michael did, the multi-billion-dollar deal that he did, let me tell you now, ever since he's been dead, the executor of the estate of Michael Jackson, named John Brinker, did they cover that when he died in the movie? Did they cover that?
Nah, no sir, lie.
Check it out. John Brinker had sold most of Mike's estate back to who? Sony. And Sony got it cheap. They paid $750 million and much of it has now been slowly piecemealing back to Sony. See, if
Okay, so lock it real quick before I forget my point. All right, so you keep saying everything goes back to the you saying everything's going back to like Sony and Universal. So now it got me wondering that Jermaine Jackson and the Jackson brothers are mad that Michael Jackson somehow didn't put the family back into anything. Like everything goes back to the white man.
Whoa. That's the point I'm trying to raise. Michael did have them set up. He did set them up. But that's why, those other kids of Michael blanketing on him, they've been raising a big stink about the fact that why you got some of the brothers in the Jackson clan bowing down and letting John Brinker take Mike's estate in the aspect of Sony and selling it back to Sony. $750 million on some, they paying $750 million when it's worth billions upon billions of dollars. You see where I'm going with this, man?
Sir.
See, and this is what I got a problem with. Antoine Fuqua, if y'all were gonna deal with it, then deal with that. Deal with the fact that here it is. The Jackson family was going through hell and high water when Michael came against Tommy Mottola. When she married that Jack, I think his last name is Gaynor, Jack Gaynor, something to that effect. That dude is related allegedly to the Genovese crime family. Okay? According to published reports. And he was whooping LaToya behind. Joe Jackson in particular had a time trying to rescue her. And Michael as well. And then this is why Michael wound up hooking up with the Nation of Islam in certain as a matter of fact, Janet Jackson is allegedly in a relationship with Mustafa Farrakhan right now on the low. Okay, but this is why when she married that Arab kid a few years back, who had made her a deal that if she gave him a child and she stayed married to him for about 5 years or better, that he would hook her up for the rest of her life, which he kept his word. But it was a reason why she married that dude. That Arab kid is connected. Janet. Yo, that Arab kid is connected. So there's a protection barrier around them. See, everything's. But so if this is what they should have been covering. If you're gonna do it right or not at all.
Yeah, Coster. But yeah.
These are the things that they are supposed to tell you about the Jackson clan and what they've been facing. See the deal that Michael made with Sony. That was what really, and then not backing Israel is what really put him in the scope of being a target. Because see, understand, not only has it been Michael Jackson been dead now since 2009, which is about 16, 17 years now, if my math is not fuzzy. Okay, he died
Please
June 24th.
How old I am, man.
Well, I'm older. but my point is, man,
like it was just yesterday.
But real talk though, okay? That's why I don't want to see this biopic, because because again, Jermaine Jackson should have went. He could have went hard body. See,
he definitely just kept it musical. I'll say that. He didn't want to get into all that. He kept it like family friendly for the kids and all that.
And that's what I'm talking about. You can't
That's
keep
black
this
people
man.
for you.
You hold on. This you talking about Michael's reputation when he was accused of raping children, and then you had Wade Robertson, one of the so-called victims, come back and say, "No, he lied." So let me guess. Then I guess they didn't show the interview with Oprah Winfrey and how she then twisted the knife in Michael's back when he was dead.
Oh wow, no sir,
They didn't show that either, right?
no.
No, they didn't. See, everybody, a lot of people forgot that Michael Jackson, that Oprah Winfrey was the only person to be able to score a sit down with this man. She went in there on the estate, sat with this man, had him talk, open up. She asked a whole lot of, janky, funky questions and all that along the way. But wait, the thing is, after Michael died, this same Oprah Winfrey, who's friends with, okay, what's his movie honcho's name? I'm having a brain freeze. It'll come to me. Anyway, she's a friend of most of the people that's in the Jeffrey Epstein files. Okay? The same Oprah Winfrey will go out and get those boys who falsely accused Michael to come on one of her episodes and shows, Surviving Neverland and all that other fool, and straight up cut Michael's throat. But they didn't show that in the movie, did they? See, that's what I got a problem with. That's what I have a problem with. See, all this demonizing Joe Jackson and all that. Look, man, Joe Jackson had his issues and he definitely wasn't exactly the stellar father. But Joe Jackson was not the problem for the Jackson clan overall. The deals that Michael made, the things he saw, the things he revealed. Okay?
Yeah,
And don't
now
forget,
they did show like they did highlight Salaki. Well, they did make sure to highlight that he wanted to separate from Joe Jackson, and so when he was under his protection, I'm pretty sure all this stuff wasn't happening. But once he got with the white man and separated from under him, I think everything that you want to know about in the movie, I think that's when all that started happening, most likely.
no, actually, it was happening while Michael was under Joe Jackson's care and management. As a matter of fact, again, like I said, look, they had their differences, but at the same time, when push came to shove, and certain forces started coming for Michael, who was their front line? Joe and Katherine Jackson. Joe Jackson was front line. Leave my baby alone. They won't show you that part. Leave my baby alone. Leave my son alone. Leave my kids alone. They won't show you that part. This is what I'm saying. This is why I'm like, Jermaine, really, bro? Really? Maybe all that hair dye, no disrespect, all that hair dye he got going on might be effing with his brain. But come on, man. There was plenty that the people need to see. And when Oprah Winfrey crossed Michael the way she did, knowing these dudes was lying on Michael. Here it is, Michael Jackson went to a court of law. All right? Let me guess. They didn't show that in the movie either, right?
Lie.
They didn't show Michael Jackson getting beat up by the cops, as Michael Jackson talked about how they.
Nah, Salaki, go ahead. My bad.
I'm sorry. See this, yeah, and see this is why I'm glad I had you come back, since you saw the biopic, and I gave a spoiler disclaimer to all y'all. And this is what I got a problem with. Even though it's generated $600 million, but the fact that the Wall Street Journal over the weekend, and you brought it up, and here it is, they writing articles talking about Michael's a pedo, a stone cold pedophile, even though he was found not guilty in a court of law. One of the so-called victims came forth and said he was paid to lie. His name, Wade Robertson. Look it up, y'all.
Yeah,
He
Wade,
confessed.
yeah. I heard about him.
And then one of the victims, so-called victims, the father of the kid wound up committing suicide in a hotel room. Because he, in his suicide note, he left, I made my child lie on Michael. Karma! See, if this is what they needed to go into.
Yeah,
How,
I think as a big brother, he should have at least put that part in there, of all things.
Exactly, man. And this is what I'm saying. I would have, if I'd have been feeling a whole lot better had they given it to Spike Lee. Now, you can say what you want about Spike on a personal level, but when it came down, his work with Malcolm X, his works regarding Reuben Hurricane Carter, he came through. He did his thing. He covered them within 2 hours or what have you and made it stick. With Michael Jackson, these are the things that they should have been covering. Show the world this man was lied on. Show the world how, here it is, Oprah Winfrey, with her deceitful two-faced behind, who's friends with Harvey Weinstein, the same movie honcho Harvey Weinstein, who was accused by a number of women for, getting at them on the casting couch.
Yeah.
But Oprah, she supports him to the fullest.
Yeah. Well, if I could, black. Yeah, if I could, black people, they don't go to church for the scriptures. They go to church for the praise and worship and the songs and all that. So that's what this movie was. You know what I mean? They don't want to put all that hardcore stuff in. They want to, they want to sing and dance because singing and dancing is what brings the money in.
But see, you're proving my point now. See, that's why I was wondering, why would they want Antoine Fuqua, a music video producer? And like I said, he did good work on Training Day. Okay, although that could have been better since it was based on a real person, but it could have been better. All right. His work on The Equalizer, good. His work with Belly, good. But still, we're talking about Michael Joseph Jackson. We're talking about a man who, right along with himself, Prince, we're talking about Kashif and other black music artists, white too, who all died within a 10-year or more time span. Anybody who was anyone talking about ownership, control, power. Because who was Prince doing business with, principally doing his career? Warner Brothers. All right, musically and everything else. And as soon as Prince got his masters, as soon as Prince, for years on end, finally got a foothold on owning and controlling his estate, he suddenly drops dead. He suddenly drops dead about a week later, and then come to find out, according to his relatives, he didn't have a will, and all those masters Sony, I mean, not Sony, but Warner Brothers sent a team of, how you say, executives to Prince's home and took all those masters in music out of his safe because Prince didn't have a will. Do that even sound right? Of course it doesn't. So the man, he had his hairdresser on speed dial, but Prince, a businessman,
Yeah, with an attorney and everything.
okay, and one who was following the blueprint of Michael and Sam Cooke, didn't have a will, and suddenly dropped dead and got sick after he got his master's.
Yeah.
See, everything is connected, brother. Everything. And like I said, this Michael biopic, I heard they're gonna be a sequel, but I'm like, look.
Yeah,
Look.
it's definitely gonna be a sequel, but you just gotta understand, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just church, man. It ain't, you know what I mean? You just gotta, you know, like, if you want some entertainment, then this is for you. But if you want a documentary, then it's not for you, basically.
But that's my point though. These are the issues that still need to be covered. If you're gonna again, I'm all about doing things and doing it right. If you're gonna do it right or not at all. This is the story that need to be told. This is the story that needs to be shown. And again, it makes me understand why certain people didn't want no parts of the project.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just straight up.
I agree with you, sir.
All right? You know, like I said, man. But what I don't like, though, is that here it is now. See, Israel, they're vindictive, bro. They are vindictive as hell. And the fact that, oh yeah, and not just that, the fact that the movie's generated already $600 million.
To the family. I mean, well, is it going to the family now that you say all this? Like,
Well,
goddamn.
of course. Now, of course, they're going to see a percentage of the money. Of course. But now, how about this, y'all? Another thing you ain't been hearing about, and they're mad about, is that through streaming, Michael Jackson is breaking records again, y'all. His music is being sold and grabbed up and gobbled up all over again. And he dead.
Yeah.
But and see, and then here come this article. Oh, he was a pedo. You have he has people fooled and they were mesmerized.
Yeah. Is it a way that we could read the article
Well,
that you're talking about?
if you look up, all you have to do is type in the Wall Street Journal, type in Google, type in the Wall Street Journal on Michael Jackson. It should come up. Written by Maureen. Her name is Maureen Orr. I think it. Look it up from there, and you'll go into it, and you can, if they haven't if they haven't retracted it, well, you can read it for free.
Nah, Salaki, I was just messing with the seventh answer. You know what I mean? I was just, you know what I'm saying? I was just messing with her, trying to give her something to do.
Oh,
I was joking.
No. In this case, right? We have to be very careful, okay? But on this particular instance, right, and what we're talking about right about now, see, we have to be careful because see, sometime in the replays, in previous replays, when we go hard body and hard in the paint, and we use, let's say, other sources to prove our points, you have certain forces out here, brother, who get mad because the seventh answer and myself, we use their material better than them. And no. And on a serious note, they've had several of our shows flagged.
Oh wow, okay.
Word up. That's why on this one here, I wouldn't want her to, if it's something topical that can be, but something specialized, nah, it's okay. You be wise to go look it up for yourself, because not only if it's not, we have haters in here, and so when we go hard body like we're going right now, if we use anything else, hey, listen, these guys use this here, and next thing you know, we're getting flagged.
Yeah. Oh nah, man. I'm just saying. I came to the house, took my shoes off. You know what I'm saying. I was just trying to get a glass of wine or something. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad that in your relaxation, you were able to come back. Because I thought about you. Though I'm like, yo, the brother brought up Michael. You brought up Michael Jackson. You brought up the whole thing, but we wound up going into a whole another direction when you had CEO Mandika Malik come through. But I said when we go back on the air, I'm going to call you out because coincidentally, here come all this negative press about Michael Jackson. So I want to make sure people get reminded on what was happening at the time. And why these false accusations of child molestation and all that was going on, besides the big time catalog and music deals, involving the Beatles and Elvis Presley, and let's not forget that here it is when you had Michael married Elvis's daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, and she sold Elvis's estate to Michael. In the music to Michael, don't forget how she suddenly dropped dead from a complication from a weight loss procedure. Let's not forget that either. I guess did they cover that? No, they didn't. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. See, and I want to keep my emotions in check. But this is what I'm talking about. And this is why, for all y'all out there who are now joining us, this is the Lion's Den.
Well, let's guess what they did cover. You know what I mean? So, like, if we thinking about, this is for 90% of black folks. Like, what you think they did cover? They covered his nose. They covered him turning white. They covered Thriller. They covered what's that song? Beat It. They covered that. They covered the Jackson 5 Motown singles. They cover all the sweet fairy tale stuff, basically. Stuff that you don't give a damn about.
So basically what you're telling me, this was just a motion picture music video, like Thriller. Except it has some acting along the way, right?
Concert.
Okay, there you go. And I rest my case. I rest my case. Okay, here it is. All these facts that I brought out, that I covered on a previous show, and this is what they don't go into. When Michael Jackson stood against Israel, condemned the whole issue of what was going on in Palestine and other regions. All right.
If I could, sir.
Go ahead.
If I could, like, they knew people with your mindset, they knew that you wasn't going to, for lack of better words, buy a movie ticket anyway. So they made the movie for people that was going to buy a ticket.
No, let me clarify. You're right. No, they know people like me. I wasn't going to go pay to see something that in other previous Jackson productions we've already seen before.
I agree with that.
If you're not, but here it is, a major motion picture production. I thought Jermaine, but at first I was on board with it. But as soon as I heard Janet Jackson didn't want anything to do with it, some of this Michael's children didn't want to do anything to do with it, and didn't want to cover, and Diana Ross, and walked away. That I said, up right there. And I went digging. And here it is, you just so happened the Spirit had it where you happened to go see it, and you came in and made it a talking point, and now I'm able to interview you, and you give me the full rundown on all these events that I named, and they didn't cover it. Not at all.
Yeah, you like you like that's why I kept my $20.
Yeah, man. Look, man. Look. Again, we're talking about Michael Joseph Jackson, a stone cold businessman, a kid who grew up in the industry, saw all type of things going on. Okay?
Yeah. Now I'm a reason with you though. Like now that you say it, like bring out all the other stuff that I had no clue about, especially the Oprah thing. I do feel cheated on my. I probably spent like $50 total, probably like $60 because I got, you know what I'm saying, popcorn. I got some cinnamon rolls.
But hold on.
I got two lemonades. You know what I mean? So I do feel cheated out my damn near $60 I spent.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be a spoil sport. But now, Jay Snake, hold on. You said that I watched Sinners, though. And you're absolutely right. I did go see Sinners. Because you know why? Sinners is not exactly a bio picture about anyone. Okay? Although
that's crazy.
Although the movie Sinners is loosely based on blues singer Robert Johnson. But Jay Snake, I'm gonna remind you again, Robert Johnson is a far cry from Michael Jackson. I am not disregarding Mr. Robert Johnson's Johnson's talents. I'm not. But
Salakia, real quick.
Jay, but Jay, in regards to Michael Jackson, the crucial and critical pieces of information about his life, why his career in the last remaining years of his life were plagued with all the demonization and evil, all right, that he was hit with, is what they should have covered or not at all. That's why I wouldn't pay a dime to go see the movie. It's a big difference, brother, between Sinners and, even though Sinners had major league messages in it. Okay, Jay? But go ahead.
Yeah, man. Number one, you're doing a great job of having me consider lowering what I rate the movie from 8. You got me considering bringing it down, you know what I'm saying, 2 to 3 notches now because of the information that I was cheated out of. And number 2 is like, you know, I went to pay to go see Michael, but I didn't pay to see Sinners. I saw that like at my crib. So like you are willing to spend money to go see a movie. It just gotta be up to your expectations or something like that. And then third, I was going to ask Karima if she could show a picture of who the Sinner person is loosely based off, because I wasn't aware of that. I thought that was just a regular movie. So I would like to see who they were trying to base the movie off of, the actual person.
Okay, but now let me answer Jay Snake. But Jay, yes, I paid to go see Sinners, and you say satanic negative images of black folk. Listen, there were certain realities of how black folks were giving it up and getting down out there in the world. We can't pretend that there wasn't some debauchery and all kind of things going on in some of these clubs way back when our grandparents were doing it, okay, and grandparents were doing it. But the movie Sinners covered one heavy aspect. Ryan Coogler covered one heavy aspect about how this society has been vampiric regarding our people. Okay, the movie, how every other nation wants to horn in and be a part of our culture to what? Steal, rob, and suck the, and literally and figuratively suck the life out of us. That was a heavy movie, man. So yes, it was satanic in the structure of the vampire, Remick, who made it clear that he was attracted to Sammy, okay, based upon the power of his ability to play music and attract spirits and all that. But that goes back to, again, the blues singer Robert Johnson, who had allegedly made a deal with the devil, and he suddenly died at the age of 27, but he was a powerful and influential force. So again, but we're talking about a work of reality when it comes to Michael Jackson, brother Jay. And my whole attitude is Michael Jackson's story and the things that Michael experienced, the betrayals from Oprah Winfrey and so many other so-called black celebrities and who are for the black. That should have been covered. It should have been talking about when he went against, instead against Zionism, Israel, the whole issue with Israel, AIPAC, and all them other organizations. That should have been talked about. When it comes down to the money deals and all the deals that Michael made with his own money and the hell he caught, that should have been talked about. And yes, I would have paid a hefty price for that reality versus, the money I did pay matinee to watch a work of fiction, Vampire, but it was loosely based on, actual real events. That's a big, it's a big
now.
Yeah, man. And I did a big review regarding that movie. Okay? Because again, they're still mad about the fact that Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan have been killing it at the box office. But Sinners just showed you basically how America gets down for using the vampire metaphor. How white America can't function without us. This is why they hate us so much. The whole issue of none of these other nations can function without us. And we always make the critical mistake of inviting them in, and they want to take over our culture, our lives, everything. Right now, as we speak, look how you have certain legislation going on, the repeal of the Voting Rights Act. They want to now remove Black history from schools, teaching it, all that. So yeah, Jay, I paid to go see Sinners, but I wouldn't pay to go see this movie with Michael Jackson, given the fact that all the critical things, the critical issues, which I think you probably didn't hear the powerful discussion that myself and 90s era have been going into that were missing from the movie. So why would I want to pay to go see basically a work of a real person and the real issues I know are now missing from the movie not be covered? Why would I want to go? Why should I go pay to see that? I've already seen other biopics. Oh, Joe Jackson was a horrible father. Joe Jackson was oppressive. Michael didn't have a childhood, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But what we didn't see was the powerful moves that Michael made. And these moves were so powerful, you had mob figures coming after him. The Tommy Mottolas, the Jimmy Iovines, okay? And what's our boy's name? Oh my God. How could I forget his name of all people?
Well, Karima could make that movie. You know what I'm saying? She do excellent work at doing AI videos and everything.
But you know what I want to point out? You know what else? You know what else I want to point out? And this is, it may be it's a strong coincidence, but correlation. But Michael Jackson went to Israel, 1993. He makes it clear he's not taking no sides, and he even supports Palestine and their right to defend themselves. He makes a song called "Palestine Don't Cry." Now, it made me think about the fact you had two other celebrities who took a trip to Israel. Matter of fact, they started investigating the whole issue of being Israelites. One's alive and one is now dead. Let me help y'all. Remember when Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston went to Israel? Remember when Whitney Houston took a stand on what she saw when she was in Israel with Bobby? And there his name just hit me like a ton of bricks. And Clive Davis, remember that? Clive Davis, about a year or so after that whole visit to Israel, Whitney's found dead, face down in a tub, drowned. Remember that, y'all? And although Bobby Brown didn't die, subsequent from that visit to Israel, several of Bobby's children have died. Bobby Brown Jr., remember? He was found drug overdose. And a couple of his children. So see, everything is connected. But when they went to Israel, all their troubles began. Whitney couldn't get her money game was, she already had we know she had the drug issue going on. But her money game, her ownership game, all that took huge nosedives when her and Bobby went to Israel. And not only did they go to Israel, they went claiming to be and investigating the Israelite faction of it. And she's dead. And then Bobby Christina, not long after. Bobby Brown Jr. And one more daughter whose name escaped, or one more of Bobby's children. I think it's a daughter or son. Gone. I'm just saying. There you go with conspiracy. I'm not. I'm not making a conspiracy theory or anything like. I'm just connecting the dots. That any celebrity, in particular, who does not stand with Zionism and looks to do ownership and gives Clive Davis problems, and anybody else within that, how you say, Jewish clique, they always wind up gone. And long before Michael and Whitney, let's go back to Sam Cooke. Let's go back to Otis Redding. James Brown, he backed up and shut the hell up and fell in line, so he didn't disappear. Jimi Hendrix. Those three. Janis Joplin, white musician Janis Joplin. What do they all have in common? They were all connected to who? Clive Davis. Clive Davis, along with, and who owned much of the distribution of black music? Jewish gangsters. See, Israel been doing their thing for a long time. The Meyer Lanskys, the Purple Gang, the real Purple Gang, a Jewish gang. Yeah, that's right. And in that time frame, not only did you had again Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, Jimi Hendrix. They were all about to embark upon what? Ownership. Their own. They got ghosted. Gone. Then I'm gonna bring in, hold up, Janis Joplin. Then 1 year after that, you had who? Jim Morrison. Then behind Jim Morrison, Bruce Lee. Then behind, oh yeah, and who was Bruce Lee connected with at the time? Warner Brothers. Who wanted to control Bruce Lee's career? Warner Brothers. A subsidiary of who? Universal. Owned by who? Or who was overall the major operator? Clive Davis. Then you had writer Donald Goines. Y'all may not even know who Donald Goines is, but you've seen or read his books. Horse Son, Never Die Alone, which was made a movie with DMX. Donald Goines was found dead. Him and his wife were found dead after he made an independent movie, a book deal that was going to be worth, which is now worth billions. But who wanted in on his action? Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers, everywhere they go, somebody get got. And then there was a singer named Mama Cass Elliott, okay, who was talking about the evils that was going on, the child molestation that she saw when she was with this group called the Mamas and the Papas. She wound up dead, choking on an egg. And then 35 to 40 years later, we had rap, pioneer, and one of what was his name again? Prodigy, Mobb Deep.
Prodigy, yes sir. What's up with him? Break down Prodigy.
When Prodigy started talking about the issues going on within the industry, certain forces, Zionism, Jewish. Do you remember that? Do anybody remember that? See, you probably don't, because those interviews have disappeared from Earth.
Okay.
But what happened to Prodigy? How did Prodigy die, y'all? Choking on an egg?
I thought he died from his disease he had.
Nah, that's it. It had nothing to do with sickle. No, he was found, he had choked to death. But my point is, come on, man. Every time someone speaks out against the industry and certain forces in the industry, they all come down with a sudden case of death. I'm just saying.
Damn.
This is not a conspiracy. It's just documented.
He's still here. God damn.
But where's he at though? In prison. They just put him on ice. See, he started being a bad boy, no pun intended, and got beside himself. He got beside himself, so they put him on ice. Him and Suge Knight, they fell back in line, but they just got to do some time for being bad boys and forgetting their place.
Okay.
But my point is,
so Diddy didn't cross the line yet, basically.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But still, he got to be put on ice, chilled out, and when he get out, he's still getting his money. His estate is still getting his money. Suge Knight, the same thing. Death Row with Snoop Dogg, they're not producing no acts, but there's still other forces where they're getting their money with Snoop Dogg at the helm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, DMX. What happened to DMX, y'all?
Oh man,
I'm just saying.
Prodigy, DMX, god damn,
Tupac, and before him, Tupac, and what he was revealing about Quincy Jones and other forces out there trying to come at him and get at him. Gun down. My point, look, y'all, look. All I'm saying is everything is connected. Nothing just happens in a vacuum. Now, let's see who's talking. Because there's a whole lot of people talking. Whoa. Forgive me. Now,
yeah,
Jason says, okay, well, Jay, I mean, you asked me what books am I reading right now? If you must know, I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. I'm currently rereading the autobiography of Malcolm X, okay, along with Cry Freedom. I'm also right now reading, since you asked, as a matter of fact, I'm like, 2/3 done with Up From Slavery by Booker T. Washington. All right. What's the relevancy of you asking that question? Okay. Now you say, you mean gossiping? Hold up. Now, Jay Snake, you talk about me having feminine energy because I'm gossiping messy rumors. No, first of all, I'm not gossiping and they're not messy rumors. Everything I'm talking about are actual factual things that transpired. So it can't be feminine energy. But if you want to say feminine energy, let me remind you, Jay Snake, that in the Bible, wisdom is also described in the feminine energy as well. There's masculine and feminine energy, since you want to go there. So if what I'm doing is in the feminine energy, there's nothing wrong with that. Because again, wisdom is described in both masculine and feminine energy. And if what I'm saying, if you take time out to uncover and see that it's actually true, it's not rumor, it's not gossip, it's the truth, facts, frequently accurate, correct truths. Now, if you choose, right, not to take the sources that I'm providing you and not investigate it, that's your right. But now, there's nothing, if you're trying to insinuate my being gay, that I find disappointing, Jay, considering the fact that when you look at every episode of what we do here on the Lion's Den, the seventh answer, Karima, she would never allow me or anybody to speak irresponsibly. You've been a long time watching and listening. We've had our differences of opinion, but on this one here, I'm a little taken aback on the whole feminine thing, because again, that means you don't read your Bible, and I'm a Bible believer. And again, in the Bible, wisdom is described in both the masculine and feminine. There's a balance. So everything I'm saying is not messy rumors nor gossip. It's actual, factual, and proven statements and actions that transpired. Now, I also said responsibly, there's certain things I cannot prove direct. All these different deaths of these different celebrities who all took a stand on ownership, and there are certain mafia figures who were owning distribution and music and other aspects of Black business then and now, and they're gone. You heard me say I couldn't prove. There's certain things I can't prove, but it is kind of ironic that from a coincidental or let's say pattern standpoint, Jay, a lot of people who prove to be anti-Israel, who prove to be how you say, stubborn and couldn't be controlled, they got dealt with. They're gone. Oh, and I see David Anthony writes, Prodigy's last interview, he said he was down with the Illum. Oh, yeah. Told the secrets, then they killed Thank you, David Anthony. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you said, Jay, you said you heard the discussion that we had, and you don't think it's a powerful discussion. Okay, that's fine, Jay. That's fine. Now we're entering the energy of point counterpoint.
Yeah.
Now check it out, Jay.
I think it was powerful. I think it was hella powerful. I learned so much that I.
But now, hold on. I'm gonna prove something to you, Jay. Jay Snake. Hold on, Jay Snake. I'm gonna prove something to you, right? If I was feminine in the insinuation, I mean, okay, Saladia Benya said you don't think he's saying that. All right. But still, I'm gonna say I'm gonna have a little fun with Jay Snake. But Jay, if I was feminine, I'd be telling Karima to kick you up out of here. I'm being silly. I'm just being silly. But no, thanks for the counterpoint, Jay Snake. It's a good thing. That means you're holding my feet to the fire, and that inspires me to be able to go a little bit more intricate. If you don't think the revelations I gave about Michael that a lot of people don't know about, don't know about.
Excellent job on that.
Right. Oh, so like, you found that funny? I'm just saying, baby. No, but I welcome it though. Listen, but still, let me just. I better make this clear to you all out there. Now, when I'm allowed to come here on the Lion's Den, and the operative word is allowed to come in here, please understand that I operate, quote unquote, as an independent contractor, if you will. Okay? The Lion's Den, make no mistakes, Karima, okay, along with Mandika Mali here and there. Okay? I want to make that clear. But because Karima joins me here on this segment titled The Conversation Continues, she makes it her business that anyone that she allows to come through here and be a voice, be a face, and vibe, click, and politic, she takes time out of her schedule, dealing with her personal life, her beautiful daughter, Kamira, if I'm saying her name correctly, and so on and so forth. She still takes time out to research and check things out. Okay? And if y'all been avid listeners and astute listeners, you would have heard on several episodes when I was out of pocket, out of line, or misrepresenting the facts, unintentionally, mind you, but still they were being misrepresented. She stepped in with the hook and like, yank, come here, make the correction. You missed something. Or if I was just outright wrong, she shut me down. I had to recalibrate on the spot. So please understand that anything we talk about, anything that I talk about, whether in a monologue or on these open discussions, the seventh answer is behind me, checking things out and verifying herself. And if I miss something, yank, she shuts me down with the immediacy, if y'all been listening. And therefore, if there are certain things that I'm saying from a speculative standpoint, she requires me to make sure I say that. From a conspiratorial standpoint, she makes sure I say that. But the overall majority, the preponderance, a fancy word for the majority of all episodes of when you go and check them out, there's plenty of shows we've covered, you will see the overall majority of what we talk about here are actual factual proofs. Okay? I'm just saying. Ayo, now what else is on your mind, 90s era? Anything else?
Sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you asking. So I got a show on my YouTube channel this Sunday. About to drop. I started this TV show called
Okay.
Dark Tale, and episode one was last Sunday. Dark Tales of the ISUPK, Evil Hearts of Men. That's episode one. Episode two is Dark Tales of the ISUPK. Give them hope, and I got two former ISUPK members coming on the show. They're gonna come on there. They're gonna relive their experiences. They're gonna tell the secrets, the dark side of the ISUPK. The special guest on this show is gonna be Bananas. He's a former ISUPK rap artist, Daniel Allah. He got a documentary coming out. He also got an album coming out called Give 'Em Hope. That's why this episode is titled Give 'Em Hope. And he got a lot to say, y'all. So if y'all want to, you know what I'm saying, if y'all want some original, different content, you know what I'm saying, check out Grafted In Pod. That's my YouTube channel. And look
Okay.
for Dark Tales episode 2 coming out this Sunday. It's gonna be crazy.
If we go on YouTube and type in Grafted In Pod, that's how
Yeah,
we're able to find you.
Sir. Yes, definitely subscribe. You know, Kareem have been helping me out with my channel and everything. So, you know, I'm different though. You know, I'm not somebody that's going to be doing no teaching. I'm somebody that's original. I try to put these different TV show contents out for the Israelite community because we don't have original content in the Israelite community. Outside of Lions Den and what you do, you bring out news articles and open discussions. Outside of that, man, you got people, you know, just teaching the Bible and just keep, you know, debating each other. So I was like, man, like, you know, I'm tired of just watching debates. So I had to be like, you know what, like I'm in this community. This is what this community lacking is some entertainment. So that's why I done created a couple of different shows on my YouTube channel. I done created Hebrew Anonymous. Hebrew Anonymous is a TV show where I let people come on the show anonymously and they could tell their traumatic stories. They could tell stories of how they grew up. They could tell their story about how they joined the Israelite camp, and they could, you know, anonymously, so they could say everything, get it off their chest. I had a sister come on the show, and she talked about how her uncle used to rape her, and
Okay. Okay.
you know, Dark Tales is my newest show. Right now, I'm not specifically going at the ISUPK, but just so happened that the former member is the only person that's like available to do the show Dark Tales. So I got Gans Tarap, if anybody knows him.
Who you
He's the host of
you talking about UPK Gans?
concert. Yeah, UPK Gans is the host
Yeah,
of Dark
I've had
Tales.
him here. He's been here on the show before, and you know, gave a full rundown on a lot of issues going on within ISUPK. I remember, as a matter of fact, when I began my walk in this ministry, you know, there was a brother named Tahar who's over Great Millstone. Tahar and Johanna, ironically, were the gentleman who mentored me my first 3 years in the original ISUPK that was located at 1 West 125th Street when it was called the Israeli School of Universal Practical Knowledge way back in 1988.
Concert.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, man. My pleasure to meet you. That's what's up.
All right, likewise. And I thank you for coming through. And I'm glad you know you're ambitious and you're doing your thing. So we're gonna be looking for Grafted In Pod, Tales, calling it Darks. How you call it again?
Yeah, Dark Tales.
Dark
Dark
Tales.
Tales.
There you go.
Dark Tales this Sunday. It's gonna be crazy. Trust me.
Well, all right. We thank you for coming through, and I'm thanking you for vibing, clicking, and politicking with me and the whole nine. Now, again, is there anything else you want to discuss?
Lies, sir. But
Well,
yeah,
all right,
man.
then.
You know what I'm saying? The water for your time. Thanks for inviting me up.
Yo, I really enjoyed this conversation, and I'm glad you came through. For
Oh
reals.
man, yeah, likewise. Thank you. I
All
appreciate
right,
it.
then. All right, my brother, take care. Good night.
All right,
Now,
good
see,
night.
ladies and gentlemen,
See y'all.
you see, brothers and sisters, see these open discussions, the Great Commission, y'all. This is the segment called the Great Commission on the open discussion, the Great Commission. What is a commission again? A group of people who sit down, discuss law, legislation to get things done. A commission also, from a business standpoint, is a benefit given to a salesman or saleswoman on a particular product they may sell. There's different dimensions to the word commission, but when you tune to the Lion's Den, you're getting the Great Commission because you have, again, the seventh answer, Lady Karima, at the helm. Okay? Also known as Black Beauty Inc., also known as, I call her, Dark Delight. Because again, in the beginning was darkness, and out of darkness came the light of all lights, the Lion's Den. And again, we're bringing illumination to all issues that need revelation. There'll be some of you who may agree or disagree. No matter what your position may be, you may find what we do here overwhelming. You might find it underwhelming. But be that as it may, in between time, again, we follow the four pillars biblically without giving you a sermon. Isaiah, the 41st chapter, verses 21 through 24, to produce our cause and bring forth a strong evidence. We have 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, at verse 21, which tells us to do what? Be ready, willing, able to prove all things. We also advocate the biblical proverb 13:3, wherein we think before we speak, because see, like the good Lord said, he or she that keepeth their mouth, keepeth their life. Meaning, if you think before you speak, you can save yourself a whole heap of trouble from getting yourself hurt. And here on the Lion's Den, we follow that because I want you to think about this. Everything we've ever talked about, including people, celebrity or otherwise, we haven't been sued for libel, slander, defamation of character, or anything of that nature. You know why? Because everything we say is true, can be proven. I want you to think about that for a second. And also, when I've gotten at people, I'm getting at people while they're alive. I'm not waiting till they're dead to talk about them, like some people do. I'm talking about them when they're alive, which gives them the opportunity to contact the seventh answer for fair and equal access to the social media faculties of the Lion's Den to either confirm or deny what I say about them. But that hasn't been done either. You know why? Because I don't lie on anyone. See, I understand. Now, I didn't say that over the years there were times where I practiced lying. But what I am saying is that in the area of social media and being a voice, one of the many voices the Lord uses, I ain't been proven to be a liar on anything that I've said thus far about anybody, personal or professional. Let that sink into your knuckleheads. Now let's see who's talking real quick. All right, Grafton Empire. That's right. One more time. Yo, I want y'all to support this brother. Dark Tales. Please go. I'm going to make sure I tune in Grafton and Podcast. 90s era. He has many different nom de gores here in this great social media construct. So we want to, again, we thank you. And we hope that you out there in Lions Den land have enjoyed thus far the discussions we've been giving you regarding the one and only, the late great Michael Joseph Jackson, who was born, who just so happened to be Virgo. Virgo energy, baby. It is what it is. Born August 29th of 1958, and we lost him June 25th, 2009. And not, you know what, as a matter of fact, on that day of June 25th, 2009, not only was it Michael Jackson who died, but we also lost on that same day actress Farrah Fawcett. You know, one of the Angels of Charlie, Farrah Fawcett, and The Burning Bed and all the other powerful movies she made. We lost her on that day as well. But we had a powerful discussion about Michael Joseph Jackson. Also at the top of the hour, when we began, we were going into discussing you out there, your president, Donald J. Trump, talking about how he wants to bring Barack Obama up on, that's former president of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama, up on charges of being guilty of treason. My, the pot calling the kettle black. Now, for those of you out there who are brave souls, and you might want to come here and vibe, click, and politic with us. We're having an open discussion in the Great Commission. If you have something on your mind that's relevant and intelligent, and you want to bring it to light, you're more than welcome. See, we're conducting all these powerful open discussions, each now with a theme, as the seventh ancillary curriculum is now giving each one a theme. So we're giving the Great Commission tonight, okay? You want to come in? You want to talk? Let's talk. You might not agree with some of the things that we talked about on this particular episode thus far. You're more than welcome. If you want to go into a counterpoint. If you think that I'm wrong and I'm guilty of oversight, look, I'm all for being corrected, not disrespected. I'm all for that. Come on in. If you want to be a counterpoint. Just so you know, however, when you raise points, be ready for questions. Do not try to overtalk us on our medium, or you will be kicked up out of here. As we're not rude hosts, we will not tolerate rude guests. Again, we welcome counterpoint, which is another way of saying debate. Or if there's something that's on your mind, like I said, that's pressing, relevant, intelligent, then please, let's talk about it. Because there's so much happening, it's hard to keep up with what's going on. It really is. But it's very concerning to me that here it is now, your president, who keeps late hours, falls asleep during press conferences and other daytime activities because he's up like a teenager on TikTok and other social media platforms, ranting and raving and carrying on, talking about he wants to charge Barack Obama with treason. Man, the same man who has 34 more convictions and only ran for president because he wants to avoid going to prison, the same president who is all up in the Jeffrey Epstein files, the same president who's got us into this illegal war with, I'm gonna say illegal war with Iran, and just lied along with Pete Hegseth, the head of the Department of War, all right, got us in this illegal war, taking much needed American money and funneling it to Israel, Argentina, and other foreign nations. But he wants to bring Barack Obama up on treason. What? Donald J. Trump, along with 250 other, again, governors, mayors, senators, all in his governance, who all took a trip to Israel just 6 or more months ago and made a pledge to uphold the statutes and the government of Israel. Not America, to Israel. Now check that out. But Barack Obama, he wants to bring him up, but Donald J. Trump and the Republican Funky Bunch wants to bring Barack Obama up on treason. This war with Iran that we're losing, but they just lied and said they were winning, that they won. That's costing us billions, $1 billion a day or more. Okay. That we're losing. I'm going to keep emphasizing that. Money that we need being taken from all the social programs and everything else, while trillionaire and billionaires are getting major league tax cuts. But Barack Obama, according to Donald J. Trump and the Republican Funky Bunch, is the face of treason, y'all. Go figure. Go figure. How, man, it never ceases to amaze me how racist, bigoted white folk always want to blame black folk for their problems in the world today. I mean, it take me back even in movies. It be black folks' problems. I mean, it be black folks that make white folks have big problems. I think one movie that stood out that had me dying laughing. Terminator, even in Terminator 2, we find out it's an overambitious black scientist that made it possible for the robots, for Cyberdyne Systems to go sentient, and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Robert Patrick in their incarnation at the T-800 and T-1000. A black man caused all those problems. My God in heaven. We can't breathe without it being a problem for certain folks and certain people in this country. And so here it is, one more time. Donald J. Trump. Donald J. Trump and company are now wanting to seek to arrest Barack Hussein Obama for treason, y'all. It's an overused sentiment now, but make that make sense. But the Epstein files still remain closed. All these weirdos and pedos are still going strong in different aspects of the government of this country. So all I'm saying, for all you out there in Lions Den land, do you see how blessed you are? Do you see how blessed you are to have this powerful medium? Do you see how blessed you are to have the seventh answer and others like myself who are at the helm and putting it on the line to bring you this information? Here it is. I'll speak for I don't get paid to do this, but it's my calling. See, there's some things that transcend money. And when the Lord gives you a mission, a calling, this is where you have to answer that call and jump out there and be the voice that He wants you to be and use in certain areas. So here it is. I want you to think about this for a second. The seventh answer and myself, we're not being paid millions of dollars like so-called mainstream media pundits and reporters. We're not being paid millions of dollars to lie to you. Here we are putting everything on the line for free. Think about that. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? I got a little cash app, but I don't be asking for nothing. You know why? Because speaking from the love of the game, the love of what I do here, the love of being used by the Lord while I still have life in this broke down body, to come here and make these presentations is payment enough. If I can, along with the seventh answer, hit someone up with the 8I formula, which makes this machine work. All right, we're talking about, again, the independence, the insight, information, influence, integrity, intelligence, and ingenuity. If we can hit you with one of the 8 eyes, or all of them, to get up off your behind and be what you need to be out here in this great diaspora, then my mission, our mission, is complete. Now, I ain't gonna lie in front and say that, sure, it would be nice if every time we came on, you know, we had a $1.5 million plus deal going on. Sure, because money is a defense, baby. But no, we're in the struggle. Like, we're in the struggle. We're in the struggle. We choose to be. I have no problem saying that at one time, I had a faction of the Illuminati come to me. The Rosicrucians, they made 3 different times. They came to me wanting to put me on. I could be out here on a syndicated radio show. I could be sitting up on MSNBC and the whole 9 if I'd have took that offer. But no. Like I told one of the Illuminati representatives, I said, wait a minute, let me get this straight. Here it is. They'll send you to try to recruit me and pay me money, not for reparations, but you'll pay me money to turn my back on my God, my Savior, and my people. And I said, nah, kick rocks. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I can't be bought. I can't be sold. So when you hear that in the opening of these presentations, that's what I'm talking about. It's real out here. But I couldn't take money consciously. and sell out my people, man. And again, it's insulting because again, they got money. They have plenty of money for you to sell out. And when you do that and you become the devil's hoe, okay, make no mistakes, you become the devil's hoe, right? They're already planning on how they're going to get that money back. As another powerful moderator who calls himself Professor Black Truth so famously quotes, once America finishes using its tools, they break them. Because after all, think about it. Who can trust a traitor? Who can trust a Benedict Arnold? If they can get you to sell out your own people in your own interest, what won't you do? How can they trust you? They already got it figured out. Wait, if this Negro will sell out his own people, if we lose our power and our footing and someone come along and make him an offer to sell us out, he'll do it. So once they finish using you, as Professor Black Truth says, they break you. I've seen it all too often. So what I do when I come here, like I said, it's the love of the game, which is not really a game, but you know what I mean. It's the love of it all. It takes a lot of heart to come here and do what we do. You know how frustrating it is to have your algorithm be deliberately tampered with? You know how frustrating it is sometimes to know that, okay, right, we're on someone else's channel, so that we're at their mercy. But still in all, right, week in and week out, we come here and we do what we do. And now here it is now, we're opening up the airways for you to come in and have a discussion with us and talk to us. And that takes a lot of heart. Because when you go live, believe me, I speak from experience. I used to, before I was here on the Lions Den for a very long time. I'm going to give you a little quick backdrop on your boy here. For a very long time, I used to host a talk show out the New York City area on public access that was titled, you know, What's on Your Mind? And then it morphed into the conversation continues. So I brought those two energies here on the Lions Den because unfortunately, you know, the television station where I was filming the shows Friday nights live, you know, big time backers and big time major players in the game wanted me off the air. And of course, I couldn't expect the good people. And I'm going to tell you the truth, BronxNet Television here, BronxNet Television. That was a station at a place called Lehman College. I couldn't expect those good people to jeopardize their jobs for little old me. So after a number of years, I got shut down because again, I did not take an offer. My show had to be shut down. See, that's another thing. These people are vindictive. When you don't take the offer, they find ways to get at you. But that's my story, y'all. Like I said, I could be doing it big, but it wouldn't be real. See, here it's real in the battlefield. And again, I'm answering my calling. And when you have a calling and a mission, no matter who you are, you have to obey what the Lord, even if you do, for all you non-Bible believers, I get it. Whatever. So I'm going to say you have to follow the great evolution, the great evolutionary's instructions to come out here and talk. If that make you feel any better. Because the Lord is all things. He can be your evolutionary. He can be your evolutionary. He is the great evolutionist. And that's why I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? And fate had it where, I come across the Lions Den, and you had JJ 7000, the seventh answer, Lady Karima. I vibe, click, politic with him, took a liking to him, they took a liking to me. Invite him to come through with my medium. And here I am. Here I is. After all these years. Because there's always more than one way to skin a cat. And for all y'all that's listening out here, right? Don't ever, 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 don't ever sell out. Don't ever sell out. And you know what? Let me see. We got, what happened to Unc Phineas? Oh, he passed away, health issues. Oh, okay. I didn't know of him, but I heard of Unc Phineas. Okay, may the Most High have mercy on his soul. Brother put out good info. He the only brother to be brotherly and helpful to me as a nobody. Wow. Okay. I had no idea that brother passed away. It's a lot of goodbyes. But I'll say rest in peace to the memory of Unc Phineas. But moving on. So when you come here to the Lions Den, right, and you hear myself or other voice and other voices and other shows and presentations, look, a great many of us are doing it for the love of our people and the love of our God and our game and the game of it all. Okay? And this is why you should be very happy to have this medium along with other voices out there. I'm going to shout them out real quick. You got New Breed, Sabby Sabs. You have Vicky Dillard. You have Philip Scott, Demetra K. And of course, Shalom, Talisa Cabrera, Torian Rain, and so many other voices. They're putting it down, even if we do differ from a spiritual standpoint or whatever, or maybe we have familiarities. But still, these are all the different voices that are out there in the black media spectrum, making it happen. But the Lions Den, we take you on a whole other journey. Because like I said, we hunt, we pray, and discombobulate all enemies, all liars, all kooks and crazies. We do it, and we do it unapologetically. And like I said, we're now in the phase of these different themes of open discussions. And again, we welcome anyone at any time, even if you don't agree with us. You may find certain things that you might not agree. You're welcome to come in and we can hash it out. Point, counterpoint, debate, in some circles, as it's called. You're more than welcome. I want to make sure you understand that, look, we're not afraid to tackle anything or anyone at any time. Even in the comment section of certain things that was said, you saw I handle like a champ, because you know why? At the start and end of every day, it's okay to respect differing opinions and outlooks. But the bottom line is, okay, you ask, what was my first conversation like with Karima? If that question is to me, I'm going to say When I first came on board, it was smooth sailing. You understand? Why you think she has me here now? Because it was smooth sailing. You understand? I came in humble. I'm still humble. But we vibe, click, politic. You understand? I understand the mission of the Lion's Den. I understand my place and I play my position and I'm respectful. It was magnificent. It really was. It has been Virgo energy ever since. Because as you all know, the seventh answer is no nonsense. All right? And she wouldn't have no scrubs in here at all, whatsoever. There were a couple of times I went up against JJ 7000 and lost, but it was a good thing. You learn that there's certain areas that you're not meant to be in. If God don't give it to you, it ain't gonna work. So I learned, and I stuck to what I'm supposed to be doing. And I hope that answers your question on 90s era. It was a good comment. It was good energy back then. And again, we've had our knockdown, drag out, discussions and point counterpoints, and at times it got a little rough, rugged, and raw. But it's beautiful. I sound like Eddie Murphy, and when he was playing the drum. It's beautiful, baby, just beautiful. Let's see what else you got going on. Mine also. Yeah. See, that's how the spirit works. The good Lord will bring who is supposed to be brought together, and like peanut butter and jelly, like ketchup and mustard, like eggs and grits, I think. It goes good together. It works. Because see, the Lord don't bless mess. He only blesses order. And the Lion's Den, again, like I said, brings order. And again, we take pride in what we do because we're permanently ready in destroying evil. As you can see, we're not afraid, again, to extend the olive branch or any type of branch, and now opening up the airwaves to have you, some of our listeners and fellow conversationalists, come in here and talk from the heart. So now, as we're starting to wind down, boy, it's been already almost 3 hours already. As we're starting to wind down in these last number of minutes, like I said, I'm now giving you the backdrop. I'm gonna take time out to give you the backdrop. Some of you might be new to the Lion's Den. You might be new to watching this particular episode, and you always hear me give the formula. So I'm gonna give you again the reason behind the formula. Okay? The 8 I's. Ingenuity. See, the seventh answer, her creativity, a woman of many talents and fires. She goes all out, comes through, makes it happen. Okay? You have Mandinka Malley. He's on the road. He be what? Debates, constructing powerful debates and other discussions. And then you got me. I come here with events current, events past, future, whatever, and bring the necessary energy of things that need to be talked about. So the ingenuity, creativity is what is a powerful factor. Then we bring the intelligence. Intelligence meaning that we vibe, click, and politic. We think before we speak. We do our research, cross-referencing. We may even discuss. We have our discussion before we go on the air and hash out. If I'm guilty of an oversight, The seventh answer will tell me, get back on the job, get back on your horse, and look overhead, because you miss a spot, which goes into the integrity. Because see, we pride ourselves on bringing nothing but the facts, frequently accurate, correct truths. Again, that's why anybody who may have a counterpoint will find it difficult to have a counterpoint because, again, everything we do is from an honorable standpoint. Therefore, we go into the inspiration. See, we hope that some of you out there listening in Lions Den Land, whatever, you may have certain talents and abilities that are needed. And we hope that by listening to us, we inspire you to get up off your duff, your Abakatuski, to get things done that need to be done. Because see, one thing about a great many people, they love to complain. Boy, people can complain all day and into the night. But like one of my grandfathers taught me when I was on a complaining tangent one day, he said, okay, boy, I'm going to hear you out. You're more than welcome to complain. But when you finish complaining, you be the person that solves what you see wrong. Now, if you're going to complain and you don't have a solution behind it, then I need for you to shut all kinds of the up. He never cussed, so I follow his example when I can control myself and I don't lose myself. He never cussed. Much love to the spirit of Mr. Ned Jones. But he taught me that very powerfully. Don't complain if you don't have a solution behind what you see wrong. Just shut up. Be quiet. Which now goes into, from inspiration, we go into influence. We hope that we can influence you out there in Lions Den Land to do your part. If you don't want to come here on the Lions Den and be a part of the Lions Den segment, you can make your own show. You can create your own. But still, if we influence you to be a voice, great. We hope that you find inspiration and influence watching us, which goes into independency. Because we haven't sold our souls and we haven't sold out, that's why we're able to sit here on this social media construct and speak the way we speak. See, we don't have any sponsors or anybody else breathing down our back who we depend on their money telling us what we can and cannot say. So we're not the devil's hookers. We're not prostituting ourselves to the devil. Thus, we're independent to say what need to be said and how it should be said. And that is with stone cold, again, facts. Frequently accurate, correct truths. Therefore, we hope that we give you the insight. Insight, another way of saying, we hope that we can get you on the right train and right track to think for yourself. To give you deeper understanding on issues that are going ignored by major media, so-called major media, mainstream media, which is really corporate-owned media. So we hope that we inspire you to think, insight, and of course, we bring the last I, verifiable, irrefutable information, y'all. Information. That's right. And you hear also when we do the opening, you hear me say the Lions Den with Lady Karima, Dark Delight at the helm, is a truthality, social media, experiment, and experience. Now, here's why we say that, because see, for all our new listeners, you're now experimenting. You're listening to us, you're experimenting. You're feeling us out. For all our long-time listeners, you're now experienced. So that's right. It's an experiment. The Lions Den is first an experiment for those who are new. And then once you find out we are, how you say back in the days, official. We official. As we say here in the New York area. It was everything with you is official, son. You now know that we're official. Nothing fugazi fake about us. We're official. You now are experienced listeners. And we love that. And we hope that you're enjoying and loving that. Let me see who's talking real quick. Yes. Thank you. You know, I was negligent. Salaya Benyard, thank you for saying that. Remember, as you enter the live, feel free to hit the like button and the subscribe button. It's free. Okay? Share the show. And always check and make sure that you have not been unsubscribed. Because sometimes there are certain haters out here who mess with our algorithm, will unsubscribe you without your knowing it. And the whole now. Okay, when it comes to Yeshaya JT Raw, he doing all right. He doing fine. We're always conversing daily, okay? But he's not a night owl. Who, you know, like myself. So he's very he you know, he don't really rock out with the time frame we're doing right about now. But he cool. He doing just fine. You know, we have, you know, our he's still giving his, you know, contributions and the whole nines. So he doing okay. Perhaps one day he'll return. You know, maybe if we start at an hour conducive for him. But at the same time, though, you know, I'm just saying, I'm a child of the night. Always have been. Okay, and it works. It just works. Because again, there are a lot of you out there working. You're at your job, you're listening, you're probably in a corner somewhere hiding, listening to this powerful broadcast. Some of y'all are night owls like myself. Okay? But yeah, JT, Yeshaya, he's cool, David Anthony. Thank you for asking. So yeah, for all my night owls out there, you know, I always thank y'all for riding with me. And for those out there in other time zones, again, I'm really thankful for y'all riding for me. But for all my East Coast particular, you know, night riders, I'm especially thankful for you all. Okay? And so, you know, we're coming down now here in New York now, in the New York area. It's like 1:30 in the morning. About to be 2 o'clock. And your boy's kind of getting a little sleepy. So in these last 10 minutes, you have been thoroughly informed and you've heard a very high-powered, insightful conversation with my man's 90s era, or let me see, his other nom de gore. Yes, Grafted In podcast. You know, he came through, lending the weight of his statesmanship here on the Lions Den. We want you to tune in and watch his show as well. Okay? And that is that's also another thing about the Lions Den. See, we understand that there are people out there that know something. I know something. The Seventh Answer knows something. Mandika Malley, he knows something. Tawana Jones, when she come through, she knows something. Everybody knows something. Somebody knows something. You see, Grafted Empire, he knows something. Salaya Benyard, You know something, Jay Snake? He knows something. Somebody knows something. Ezekiel Blue. Or what a Blue Ezekiel when you come through. Somebody knows something. So you out there in Lions Den land, you have the distinct pleasure of listening to a great many know-it-alls. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Oh, wait, you said that that JT was supposed to be on Dark Tales episode 1. Okay, listen, you know what? How about I'm gonna kick it with him and everything else, and I'm gonna remind him. Okay, and if you would like for me to join him, I'd like to join you and be a guest on your show, brother, if you don't mind. I'll talk to him in the whole nines. Okay, and I'll make sure he get at you if he has your number already. But bottom line is, look. In closing, we thank you for allowing us to come into your mind, soul, and cipher. And you learning something, no doubt, is going to transpire whenever you sit down with the seventh answer, Lady Karima, and myself, Dark Storm. Hey, matter of fact, depending on, if she feels like saying something, hey, seventh answer, you got any closing shots? Well, I'll say it for her. Hit the like button. Enjoy all the original music.
Yeah, please. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do so. Share the information. Appreciate you tuning in.
That's right. And so, with that being said, because it's time to go, and I'm up here, I ain't gonna lie, at almost 2 o'clock in the morning, your boy's on the drift. We thank you for allowing us to come in your mind, soul, and cipher. And as always, we give honor to the Lord in Christ, from whom all positive thoughts flow. And as always, I give a shout out and much love to my mentor, one of my mentors, or both my mentors, who are now in spiritual essence. We have the one and only, the third answer, James Mtume. And of course, my brother, my friend, out the Comanche tribe, Mr. George T. Burton. All right. And again, tonight's episode we dedicate to, while he's alive, because he made it happen, Grafted End Podcast. Yes, sir. This show is dedicated to you. And of course, Alaya Ben Yah, making sure and keeping everything safe. David Anthony, we love. Okay. Oh, that's right. Wait. Hold up, baby. Babylon Dunn. Where you been? You're just not coming in? You late. But anyway, yeah. Grafted Empire rode with us a whole hour and some change, holding his own. Even about the house rule, didn't cuss, and the whole nines. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But with that being said, look, it's time to go. So all y'all, we love all y'all. And we'll be right back at you. So you've been tuned into the Lions Den, the Great Commission, open discussion. We're going to come right back at you. And in the spirit of Don Canales, as always, on the Hebrew tip, we says to you all, Shalom, peace, ahab, love, and Napash. So, take us up out of here, seventh answer.